And we're live. All right, what's up? Hey, it's Rich the Architect podcast back at you. We are got a bunch of different equipment here now, so got some new recording. Obviously, I'm making a video now, and that is my plan for now on, is to also have a video portion for this. This one, it's just me. It's Rich, but in future episodes, I'm gonna focus more on having some guests for these podcasts. I believe this is the 30th episode, so we're 30 episodes in, and it's about time to start just bringing people more on to the podcast on a regular basis. So so this is here. It'll probably be a little bit shorter. I'm just trying to kind of work out the kinks and get all this all going. For any of you who are seeing this the first time, hello, my name is Rich. I am an architect, hence the name Rich the Architect podcast. I have a firm architecture firm in Williamstown, New Jersey. Currently, I am just a solo practitioner, just myself, and I do use some people for some, outsourcing and all that. But for the most part, it's just me. I'm doing everything. It can be a little overwhelming at times, I will admit. But here I am, going strong on, I guess it's been 10 and a half years now. So and for anybody who's listening to this, I apologize. I'm recording this with the video now. It's going to be a YouTube channel and all this, so I'm trying to do a little bit of an intro. This is probably something you've already heard if you've been a regular listener. So, but I just want to get that a little bit out of the way of a bit of my background on the architecture side. I do a lot of residential, small commercial, with hopes of growing and doing some more bigger stuff. I've used to do big things like casinos and hospital work and condos, like high rises, stuff like that, in my previous life as a employee. But the past 10 and a half years, 11 years, it's actually been over 11 years since I've had my last job. So here I am. The company is Dauntless Design Collaborative. Let me move the microphone out of the way. There it is. Again, like I said, I'm based in Williamstown, New Jersey, which is kind of the midpoint between Philadelphia and Atlantic City in the South Jersey Shore towns. And I do work in all the areas I just mentioned. So basically, like when people ask me how much, or like where do I work, I'm like, for the most part, I work Philadelphia to the shore, or the Jersey Shore. But I have done some work. Early on, I did a small hotel renovation in Secaucus, New Jersey. Currently, I have a house project that actually, as of this week, I'm trying to finish up the drawings for a new single-family home out in central Pennsylvania. And so it's a little bit further than my normal range, but yeah, for the most part, it's like I said, it's from Philadelphia to the Jersey Shore, where I've done most of my work in the past 11 years or so. So that's pretty much the intro. Like I said, this is the new view channel I'm going to have, or not new. I have the Dauntless Design Collaborative YouTube channel, so I'm going to put this on there. Have a section for Rich the Architect. Maybe down the road I'll have a Rich the Architect podcast like channel, but for now I'm just going to have it under the Dauntless Design Collaborative channel, and we'll start going there. And like I said, we're going to start putting sorry, I was just looking out the window. There's a window right here and car just stopped. Anyway, sorry. If you listen to my podcast, you know I get easily distracted sometimes. So anyway, what was I saying? Something about the podcast, YouTube channel. Yeah, so the YouTube channel will be on the Dauntless Design Collaborative page. I'm going to be bringing some guests in because this is probably not the most exciting video, I would assume, because it's just me. So we'll bring some other guests in down the road here, probably starting with the next episode. So, and it won't necessarily be here. I'm in my building in a corner recording this. I'm going to try, especially when I have guests, I'm going to go to the guests. So, probably like I have a client, like in their spaces or their houses or something like that. So we'll get to that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Kind of the revamped part of the podcast, and try to get these coming out on a more regular basis. I mean, the summer's just finishing. Labor Day was 2 days ago, so it was, and I just was on vacation last week myself. So now it's getting back into it, the swing of things, get things going, all that different stuff. So, but one thing I do want to give a little bit of a topic today about is just the I guess something that bugs me sometimes is if you've been listening, a lot of time I've talked about the technology I use in my work and all of that, and one thing that really bugs me is I'm 44 years old right now, and I'm using this stuff, plus I have 21 years experience now in the field. And there's a lot of times where the attitude seems to be, oh, well, the people who are using the technology in the architecture industry, or any industry really, it's all the younger people. And it's one thing if I was 75 years old, but that's 30 years from now. People my age are using technology, and I think the people that probably, because of the experience that we have, are using the technology in a much better way. It's like in architecture. It always is like you get out of architecture school and you take your first job, and you're they used to call them like a CAD monkey, or you're basically just drafting up. You're doing all the drawings, which it's like, which is funny because you would think the product that's being produced in architecture are the drawings. So why are the least skilled people always the ones doing the drawings? There are certain aspects of the drawings that I think can be, that are, simpler aspects that somebody with, not the experience can handle properly. But it's really like, you get a couple years under your belt, you should be the one, really handling those drawings and getting in there, getting under a hood, with them and how they work. And as you get older, it's like, it seems like what happens is like you start off, and I'm just gonna, because I'm an architect, I'm just going to talk about the architecture industry. Is you come out of school, you start off, you're doing all these drawings. Eventually, you get a little bit more experience, and then you get, you might get your own project, but still you're doing the drawings for the project. You might get somebody else younger, too, to help you out or something like that. But you're still doing a lot of drawings. But as you're gaining more experience, then you become more. It's like basically you become drafters or drawers to project managers, and managing people. And you get away from doing the drawings. It's like, I talk to, some friends of mine around the same age. They work for bigger firms, and, they're like, oh, I don't even touch the drawings anymore. And it's like, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect there. And another thing that I, relate to that is when I'm going, interviewing for a new project, somebody, and let's say I have a competitor who has a much bigger firm, let's say, and it's happened. Like here I am, Rich the architect, going up against, ABC architects, who've been around for 50 years and have 100 people in their firm or something like, not, or even 25, whatever, like it's a lot more than one, it could be 7. The question has come up sometimes of like, oh, well, why would we choose you over, another firm? And, or it'll come up, oh, the other firm has, more people and more, more resources. And I like my one response to that is, well, here I am, an A player. I can do everything. I can do your drawings. I can do, I'm managing projects. I'm, handling you as a client. But then when you go to a bigger firm, that type of services can be separated out. Oh, you go to, this person, Joe Smith, the firm principal, for, big contracts and invoices and some of the like, oh, here's the big idea that I want for it. And they, maybe, some firms like the principal's the one who does some of the like designing initially, but then things get kind of like handed off to other parties. And, so this client would need to go to, let's say, 4 different people. Oh, I have an issue with the drawings. Oh, well, you got to talk to, number 3 person on the team. You're not going to necessarily talk to number 4 because that's the kid. Let's say that's the kid coming out of school that's just like, drawing everything up. There's the other part. Well, I'll get back to that in a second. Or, the project management stuff, like, hey, when are the drawings going to come out? What's the schedule like? That's not the principal, that's the project manager, so that's number 2. So there's a number of different, somebody could call up and be like, oh, no, you got to talk to Joe. Oh, you got to talk to Fred, or, you got to talk to these different people. And it's just like, well, you don't want to talk to one person who can give you any of the answers. So as a smaller firm, 1-person firm in this case, I actually lean on that as an advantage rather than a disadvantage when, in an environment where, I'm like competing for a project with another firm. So, what was I going to say about the? I was going to say something else about the drawing thing. Oh man, I can't remember now. Something about the drawing thing. I'll get back to it. So I use that as a benefit. And then the other thing too is you got more people. I think this was it. You got multiple people, which everybody needs to make a salary. So I'm not going to say, I've been giving an example. Like, let's say another firm has a 4-person team, and then I'm a 1-person team, or one person. 4-person team. They all have to make money. Now, I may individually potentially make more money than, let's say, in a 4-person team, and in what I do now, I would be the principal. So let's say the principal and I make the same amount of money. Well, there's still 3 other people that have a salary that have to get paid. So right there, not to say that the fee would be 4 times more than mine, but right there's 4 people that need to get food on their table off of this project. And in my case, it's just me. So I have a way to, I can streamline things. If I'm doing the, all of the work, and that's the other thing. If I could figure out a way to do all the work, which I have been doing, solo, in producing the same product that another firm is doing, where it's 4 people, and my fee is going to be less because it's not costing. It doesn't cost. It's not going to cost the client as much to pay for 1 person than 4. Really, if you want to just do the simple math, again, like if you're watching this or listening to this and you're a small firm, you have your own small firm, you're solo, 1 person. Let me just tell you, use that as an advantage, because you're an A player for the most. Sorry, not all of you are A players that are doing the solo, but I'm going to say if you've been practicing by yourself for a good amount of time, you've been getting work, in and out, you've satisfied customers and all that, you're an A player. Simple as that. You're an A player, Some of the other ones, if you're not an A player, you're probably a B or C, or if you're a D and an F, you're probably not going to be around long anyway. Probably even a C. You need to be at least a B player. So, again, like I said, use it for your advantage. Don't sit there and be like, don't be in your head and just be like, oh, man, I'm not going to get this because I'm only one person, or don't do this. And I've done this. Don't go in, and actually on my website, I tend to still write the firm, we, all that. It's not true. It's just me. But don't be afraid to say just me. Don't try to fake it. Don't try to fake that you've got other people. Just tell the client what your truth is. It's just hey, I'm doing this. If you go and never say I'll be oh yeah, my team or all this different stuff, and you're producing and the client's happy, it'll be good. But if you've been doing that, and then all of a sudden you go over to your client, then let's say you've had a client for a while, and you've been doing that and doing a good job, and delivering and all that, and then one day you just go in and say, oh yeah, by the way, I know we've been working together and everything. I just want to let you know, it's just me. Be honest. And to be quite honest, if somebody came to me and I thought they had a whole team and they were doing a really good job, and then they came back to me later on and oh yeah, by the way, it's just me. Well, two things probably come to mind, but one of them would be, I'd be oh wow, that's even more impressive that you're able to do all this work solo. Maybe there's a little bit of hey, well, why have you been lying to me the whole time? So it could actually come back at you in some cases. So, but yeah, like I said, it's I like to use it as an advantage, and plus I just like to be honest. Quite honestly, I like to be honest. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, so that's just kind of a little thing that's been in my head. I wanted to give a little bit of, make this kind of somewhat of a normal episode that I have been doing in the past. But like I said, just kind of circle around. We will be, or we, again, why am I lying? It's me. I will be starting to do these more with guests in the future here. So I think I'll leave it at that. I'll do a different. I'll leave it at that for this main portion, which will be the main portion will be the video portion and podcast. There will be I'm going to have an intro and outro, and still do my music. I still will have music in the episode, but I'll do that afterwards outside of the video. So for now, I will I'll call it that. So until next time, which we'll don't have a date set, but I think the next one should be outside, which will be a little bit different than normal. And like I said, I'm taking this on the road. So until next time, this is Rich the Architect signing off. See you.